Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent his messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness, by giving, will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to and you possess. Otherwise you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 385th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace, here on Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I will be host once again here in this weekly series of workshops, ongoing continuously for 384 weeks. And today we are once again joined with members and support members of the Universal Council who will be presenting today's show. So let me get that shared and we will begin.
Thank you, Rick. This is Dean representing the English language that is spoken across the planet Earth. Today, this teaching, this beautiful coming together of the soul of man, where science meets the soul of man, and that opens up a very big understanding for humanity to realize that we've gone forward, we've become more, we've gone through time, and we've created a new condition. We've come to understand that the peace is not outside of ourselves. We stop giving away the power of the intention to others. We retain that peace within inside ourselves. We create the condition of loving intention, of giving, of nurturing, of supporting ourselves, the community, our families, the animals, the earth, the cosmos, the creation, the creator. It's the totality, and we're all part of this bigger picture. The Keshe Foundation, the Universal Council, is here to guide humanity and all created creatures and souls to a new understanding, a beautiful understanding from the Creator, an opening up of the totality of everything that we are in this moment. So when we receive that peaceful intention, when we understand that that peace starts inside ourself, within us, and then from this core, this sun, this centralized energy, we bring this forward with our intention, and we give it with in a way that creates a field strength of emotions that are linked to the planet Earth through the amino acid structure. However, the amino acid structure of the cosmos and the universe plays a bigger part. And when we connect to it through our soul, we gain knowledge, we gain field strength by being connected through the soul, because the soul is unlimited in its creation. And so when we understand this, as I said, we create the peace inside ourselves, and then the world leaders become ourselves within us. We are the world leader in this position. And when more of us, because more of us have understood this, we suddenly realize that the creation point, the space gap, the energy flow, the energy transfer that we give out and we receive, we create. And that word we, when we join the soul of man with each and every one of us, we become the totality of the creation. And many knowledge seekers and beautiful souls that are present in all shapes, sizes, languages, colors, creeds, makes no difference. From outside the planet, when the Creator looks at us, according to the understanding of the teachings of Mr. Keshe and the Universal Council. And it's been spoken about many times in the intro that it just sees shining stars, lights. It doesn't see a king, queen, or a president, a fish, a dog, cat, a man. It just sees light. And it sees that the brilliance of the light, the truthfulness of the light in its position. When you look out at the night sky and you see a star shining, and you realize that that star is shining for you because from its position, you look the same. It's an understanding of creation. And so when we open our viewpoint and our understanding and don't limit ourselves, we can create anything and everything that we need in this precise moment. So welcome to this beautiful knowledge. Welcome to the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for justice and peace on planet Earth and within the structure of all the created creatures, the beautiful souls of the creation. All are welcome. Thank you for being present. Thank you.
Next, we have the wishes, and I'll remind our audience that we'll have a full minute of silence to enhance and activate each wish. And I think we begin with Shweta.
Yes, thank you, my dear. Sorry. Thank you so much. Wishes, beautiful wishes from the heart and soul, beautiful soul. So here is the wish. We, the Universal Council, give through our soul peace forever for all souls in existence. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, connect with the universal community to create the time of peace by the enlistment of the universe.
We, the Universal Council, and the supports, give from our souls to war leaders, investors, and politics to become honest and truthful, to mutually respect equal human rights for all governments in the world. It's our wish. Our wish is our command. We, the Universal Council, and the supports, give from our souls to soothe the hunger of the people for food to survive.
We, the Universal Council, elevate our souls to create time, place, and position of universal peace.
We, the Universal Council, to give freely from our soul, to connect and elevate all leaders, to work as one soul in one direction with the Keshe Foundation and Array Corporation, to achieve peace through the technology nation for peace as one nation,
one planet, one race.
Thank you. Thank you so much, beautiful souls. Welcome. Join the soul of man with the soul of physicality by speaking these words to this moment. I love you, my soul. I live with you and I am in love with you and I adore you. See what the soul will give back to you. Yes, the soul always gives back to you. And thank you. And now we can go to the soul connection. I'm saying this is also that a poet said, from yon, our heart was so broken into pieces. And we are so broken that even a sound coming from the heart is so much hard, you know. And then the soul said, then the soul grabbed me in his shields or arms and said, my dear, you know why the heart is broken? Because when the heart is broken, you never want to be in this situation that any heart will break again. Any heart. Never. A situation where all hearts are happy and the hearts were never broken. So we have learned from this process. And because of this, when staying in the now moment, I am that I am in the now moment, now, what it is. Here is the past, here is the future. The future is also you, and the past is also you. How you choose to be in this wisdom, never to break anybody's heart anymore, never. So this is what we are creating the beauty and totality. What you want to take from the past is this learning. As the light came out of your heart, learning, detaching from all those things, all those conditions, men, people, anything, condition, memories you don't want anymore. And then there's the future. You are creating this heartful, beautiful beauty and totality. The future you. So always present when you take this deep breathing and you focus on the breathing coming from your nose to your heart and then spreading this light to all over, that it gives you this message from the soul that be in this beauty and totality, create this beauty and totality. So when you breathe in pure white light and give out pure white light, all the bodies in the energy field of the universal soul get energetic with love, peace, and light. So when you breathe in, focus on the breathing, breathe out love. Breathing, receiving the universal love, giving the universal love to all. So focus on the breathing, my dear. Breathe in, breathe out. Because we breathe, but we doesn't focus on it. Never. So when we breathe in and breathe out, focusing on it, experiencing the universal love, giving the universal love, that makes everything, change. as you, as your desire, as you want, as your intuition, as our intuition. So it is always us, you, me, all that is. Even a stove is the center of galaxy, is the center of the planet, is center of everything. Like a star, everything is revolving around you. That is the power, that is the strength we all have to change. So the past is there, the future is there, infinite loop, coming and going. So it is our ability to understand more and more how to transmit change. And this change will occur in everybody's life. If even one person is doing this, breathing and saying that I'll never broke any heart anymore. So in this breathing, I will say, in this calmness of peace, we can go to soul elevation, elevating our own soul and all the souls in existence, in all that is love. So the soul connection starts from now, and be in love, my dear beautiful soul. And it will be for 2 minutes, and the soul connection is now. Thank you so, so much. Thank you so much, beautiful souls, for being present always with your heart and soul. Thank you so, so much. Salam, namaste, salam.
Thank you, Shweta. And of course, this process is repeated on a daily basis or more often if you can do it. As Mr. Keshe said, let's do it all the time. So at 9 p.m. Central European Summer Time, we gather on this energy dimension, and we're actually raising souls. You can be part of this whole process and explore your energy dimension side, which is what a lot of these teachings are about. Even though the energy and the matter are connected, we're becoming enlightened in this process, and we're giving to the world leaders. And even this silence part, as Mr. Keshe said, we don't really need the silence. You can be working, you can be climbing a mountain, you can be riding a bicycle. The matter state is not involved in this process. So we're seeing that even the silent aspect of it is bringing in an aspect of the matter state. So he said, create this within yourselves. And of course, we're doing this collectively, almost like making 5 or 6 of the cup of life #1, where we have a beautiful combination of fields. And you may have that specific emotion or field that you can give to the world leaders that changes a dimension within the dimension of their physicality if the soul decides to pick it up. And of course, as I said, we're practicing our own understanding of this energy dimension, but because we can't see it, it doesn't seem to exist. But now through these teachings, through this enlightenment, we're starting to work more and more on the energy state. And as we achieve a collective awareness of this process, we can change the position of these world leaders in just moments of time. But again, their souls are very low, so they're going to need a lot of elevation in a way. But of course, as we elevate the others, we become elevated or more enlightened to the whole process. So we invite you all, wherever you are at that time, ask your soul to remind you. And then sometimes you just look at the clock and say, oh, it's that time. The soul reminded me. Let's take a nanosecond. Let's take a minute. Let's take a few minutes and just work in this energy dimension. And of course, whether they pick it up or they don't pick up these emotions for elevation is not our concern so much, but our concern is to give collectively to these world leaders that we raise their souls or enlighten their souls to a different position, that they stop the killing and imprisoning the nationals across this world. So we invite you all to participate. It opens up a new dimension for you, this energy dimension, which again, we haven't completely trusted, although we're operating in this dimension more than we actually realize or more than we want to admit. So we're just using this energy dimension to bring a change. Doesn't cost anything. It works directly through your energies collectively, and we will see the change. We're already there. It's just a few more pieces. 99% of us are already peaceful. It's just a few that we need to focus on. And as we understand, the souls decide, and of course the physicality will have to follow the wishes of the soul. So open up this dimension collectively together on a daily basis until we reach that permanent peaceful position on this planet, and then we can go to the next step in the progression of our understanding of the totality. So thank you all. I think we can go to the next slide unless someone else wants to add a bit more.
Yes, thank you, my dear Mark. Beautifully you said. Yes, we invite you to connect with a member of the Universal Council to send us your questions to be answered live each week and or the needs of your community. My dear beautiful souls, I welcome you. As the Universal Council website is updating and will be very soon, I invite and welcome Universal to join as a member of Universal Council members and support members to from all over the world, all over the planet, I will say, to join in. That is the beauty, and here we are here to serve. And this is the time, this is the moment, this is the, well, I will say, the circle of beauty and the totality. Please do join from wherever you are, any language, and it helps humanity to elevate more and more, helping each other. So give love, be in love, come with love, my dear beautiful souls. We invite you to join the Universal Council membership and Universal Council support membership, dear beautiful souls. A humble, humble salam, namaste, salut. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us as one soul. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sweta. And I have a video to play about, it's an excerpt from the 576 Knowledge Seekers Workshop with Mr. Keshe, and it's an invitation to people to be part of the Universal Council. Okay, so let me share that now.
There's something which I should have made an announcement. As we are structuring and in a new development of the Keshe Foundation is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60, and they serve during the 60 years they are there till 61. They to run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of many languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply for to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of true structure of the nationality, understanding the culture, that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation, or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mighty Eric. I also again want to say that please do join for the growth of humanity from anywhere, everywhere from the world. And that is the beauty. We have all this beautiful heart and beautiful soul. So, and also I invite you to share your way, your experiences. Any question, we are all learning in the learning process, dear beautiful souls. Any question from the Universal Council, you can type it in the different language telegrams of Keshe Foundation. Please do, and we welcome you from the core of our heart and soul, beautiful souls. Thank you. Thank you.
Now we have reached the commandment number 19 on our journey through the commandments. Thou shalt not accept no path except the path of his own soul to his creator. It's not that easy for us to stay from the beginning to the end, exactly to the path that is interesting us the most. There are many institutions, many, let's call it things that are able to grab our attention and to lead us off this path. Many of them in metastate life we cannot avoid completely. So we have to play together with all the other humans and beings on the planet. But every time we have a decision, we are able to decide from now on, I'm giving much more or just a little bit more of time to the exploration of my inner world. I give more time to think good, speak good, and act good, which is giving back to me the energy at the end of the day where I lay down and I know exactly today I have the energy to donate to you, my soul, and to raise your level, my soul. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear Joseph. Beautifully you said. And the commandment, thou shalt not accept no path except the path of his own soul to his creator. Soul, universal soul. Because as when we say your ability, your understanding, creating your balance, and this is the free will you have. And in this free will, you chose your own path in a way, according as the knowledge, according as the situation. You cannot, uh, well, as we see now, these gurus and all, we follow them. What they are saying, we are going to follow. Like many millions of people are following them. That no, and they ask questions. Inclination on them. Always there is a question that is the war is going to end? Is the situation is going to be good? It is up to the guru and the channeler or whatever they say. They say yes, this time, this day. Then he believes in that person. He is in the path of that person. So because and this is why everything persists like that, whatever it is. So it's in our ability. The path is ours to the creator, to the soul, the straight path, the free will. As we say, when the free will of every soul is like equal, then the change will be very fast, as the universal law says. So because everything is manifested according to each individual's own ability, many are in the path of peace, believing, trusting the soul, elevating the soul, creating our own understanding of the heart and the soul. And then, because of this, situations are transmuted. And many are not in this process, but they have their level of understanding. We cannot interfere anybody's free will. So they have to understand. All those who don't understand, we also are in this chaos, like you say, but we are creating this universal balance, creating, like as Joseph said, think good, act good, do good. And it is also how you understand thinking good, acting good, creating good, how we're manifesting it in a way. So asking others that how I will do this, how depending on the news channels and other people, that what you have done this, you are profited by that, so I will also do that. So many, this is the way you shut down the universal flow of love and light. Love and light. So be in this flow of love and light, beautiful soul. It is your soul, your heart, how you learn, what is the experiences. You are standing in the now moment, present. What has happened in the past? Are you going to continue in the future? Because the future self is also you. So that is your own soul. And that creates this elevation for all that is. So this is very important, that thou shalt not accept no path except the path of his own soul to his creator, as the soul always loves the creator, as the creator loves us all. So asking questions sometimes is the level of ignorance you create more. That if you ask people that you want war, the war is going on, we don't want war. We don't do that. But what? You are not contributing according to your soul. You are not contributing anything. You are just shutting this away. We don't want war, but we are good. We don't worry, we are peaceful. And we will remain like the buying things, and they are poor, and there are this and that. And the manifestation is going on. So if everybody has this, every every creature has this ability, because the plants and the animals, they are vertical people, they know. But we have to understand more, because these manifestations grabs us so tight that whatever they say about the good family, peaceful family, is not like that. So I will say, when we understand, we create this elevation, we create this understanding in the field, energy field of the universal soul. Everybody is enlightened in a way. So in their free will, they start to work. So these teachings, this Keshe Foundation teachings, these beautiful teachers of Keshe Foundation, and many other foundations, organizations, beautiful teachers, they are doing the elevation of all souls, so that people will understand the past and the written history, wrong, and everything that is not needed anymore. As we came thousands of years, my dear beautiful souls, and we came fighting, we came on earth and said that you have to fight for everything. You are a fighter, a warrior. Yes, we were. But now we came as a messenger of peace, as a messenger of peace for all. So thou shalt not accept the path of his own soul to his grave. Thank you, thank you so much, my dear. Anybody else, any beautiful soul want to say something? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Shweta. Now I believe we have the knowledge and understanding of the 596 Knowledge Seekers Workshop from last Thursday, June 26th. And it's about time.
Yes.
It's
Can
time
you
for you, Stefania.
can you hear me, Rick?
Yes, you're coming
Okay,
through
perfect,
clear.
perfect. So I can start my time. Thank you, Sweta. Thank you, everyone. Yes, so I'm gonna start to talk about the time from the 596. So again, I still recommend you to go and to listen this workshop, because Mr. Keshe also suggested to all our knowledge seeker to collect this workshop about the time, because they are very, very crucial for us. If you want to learn how to transmute, if you want to learn how to travel in space, if you want to learn how live forever or stop time, or go in the future, go in the past, or create time, you have to learn by heart and going really deep in all this teaching. And every week we have a lot more knowledge to understand. So I know it's very hard. I mean, it's very hard for me to keep up with everything, but I hope that you don't give up and just keep going. And maybe one day, with the time of enlightenment, we can have the full knowledge as one. So we don't have to read a book, because even in the past, the monks of any temple, they don't spend time reading the book, but actually they spend time on creating time, like Mr. Keshe taught us, and it's much simpler and more effective way to gain knowledge. So the 596, Mr. Keshe going again really in depth about the creation of time. So today I'm gonna just add a little bit more of what we said last week. So Mr. Keshe, in this workshop, really he really made it clear that creating time is also is a confirmation of existence, and for any living being. So is how by using is the manifestation of the interaction of the fields. So when the time starts, you have the interaction of the fields, if you remember. But you can also stop time when you are in on the level of the creator. Okay, so you said also that we have multiple times, and all those different times happening at the same time. Okay, so here we go back to when Mr. Keshe taught us about having schizophrenic life. If you remember, we got the energy side and we have the material side. So he said that when we dream, we call him dreams, but if we take off the word dreams, is actually is an interaction of two times interacting together. And he said it's when the time of physicality interact with the time of the soul. And we call it dreams. But if you noticed, you also say that you can do both. You can live in both times at the same time. So, for example, when we have a daydream. So if you are talking to someone and then you find difficult to focus and your mind goes somewhere else, and you start daydreaming because they told you something that trigger emotion and you start to dream. That is the example of us living in both times. In the time of physicality, when you're talking with your friends and having a cup of tea, and time of the soul when we are traveling without the need of the physicality. So, Mr. Keshe, in this workshop, I really recommend you to listen over and over because he will give you tips how to create time, how to combine the time of energy with the time of physicality. And there are many, many methods and many tricks you can use to travel through times. So these are the things we have to learn. So he also make another example that I really like. So he said that you have to understand that when you are in the physical time, everything goes very slow, and the human kind is not very much developed if you compare it to when you are in the soul time. The soul time is billions of years ahead of us. So if you then you can connect the time of the physicality with the time of the soul, you can bring the knowledge from the soul to the physical state and progress faster. He make a separation of for example, he talk again about the time. So, for example, in the time of physicality, we go slow, and we decided to consider the rotation of the Earth where we are in, and we decided to consider as a referral point the sun, the Earth, the rotating around the sun. And this is our time, but again, is very limited. But I said not to forget that the soul, our soul, actually has got its own time that is separated by our time of physicality, and his goes around the creator time, the dynamic fields of the creator. So the things we can do at the soul level are imaginable in compare to the things we can do at the physical level. And that's why it's very important to learn to connect the two, because we can start to do things. Even Mr. Keshe said, when you learn to connect the two times of physicality and the time of the soul, you will be able to do stuff that in physicality you will not be able to do unless you learn how to link the energy time to the physical time. And he talks also the knowledge of the breathing, of understand how the breathing can help us to, through the breathing, through physicality, how can we create different times by changing the breathing. And this new time that we created is going to become very, very close to the energy time of the soul, and is in that place when with new time that we created at physical level through breathing, it matched the time of the soul of the man. It's there that we can create everything we want. So we can do things that in the physicality would not be possible to do. I thought, when he said that, I thought maybe shape-shifting, changing color of the skin, you know. I have to say, I felt that in my Mojang project. Is exactly how I felt the process. And for me, it was the only way I could explain that I could change the color of my skin, because I created another time, and that time it was possible. But all this I did without knowing. So so this is where we need to grow in our skill and become really good at it. And he also say, don't forget that even each cell of the body are connected. They have their own soul. So they're even part of you are connected to the time of the creator. So he's saying that it's all about the understanding the field strength, this field strength that we talk about. So it can be in the same body and changing different field strength, where the energy and the physicality time, they come together. And in that place, you can then transmute. For you, it will be very easy to transmute if you can manage to connect the soul to the soul of physicality. So he said there are lots of method to do this, and he knows a lot. You know all this method, and he will taught us, I assume, through the practical session. So you're really welcome to join if you can this practical. Doesn't matter if you never joined one before. You can join as a first time, no problem, because the new system that they actually are meant to do this. They're meant to create in this time where our time of physicality get closer to the time of the soul, and we can do whatever we want in this time that's been created by the systems. Yes, so what else to say? So the higher order of fields. So if you remember again this energy field strength, so the higher order going to meet the lower order of energy. So for example, the higher order of the soul can meet the lower order of the physicality. So there will be, this energy will be received by the brain, and through the system, for example, through those systems, we can then open up. We can open up the brain, open up, make sure that the soul then is expanded, and we can create through this connection, we can create a new time. So he also said that the time of the man with the time of the soul together, they create you can transmute if you can combine them. You can combine the strength. So it's very important, the strength that we have from within. He makes also the example of the onions and the layer of the onions, that each rings is like different times zone, and the outer layer of the onions are like the physicality. The inner layer is when you go deeper in the soul, and all of them, all those layers are connected to the center. So we're all connected to the soul. It's very important to the creator. So very important. Then what else to say? Let's see if I have anything else to say there. Yes, Yeah, one thing that I found very, very interesting was when he said that so that don't forget that the time of physicality is being made by creating. You remember the 3 points of star formation: space, the possession. Sorry, the place, the possession, and this will create time of physicality. And then he said, and if you think about this, the soul of the man, or energy time, if you remember, he talked in a few workshops ago about the emotion, intellect, and the enlightenment. You know, he also called him time on his own. So if you can connect the time of physicality with the intellect, then it's when you can create a new time and you can create. So for us, if we want to create any material, if we want to transmute, if we want to create anything, we need to understand that the emotion and the intellect, if you remember, the emotion, the intellect, the way you're reacting to the emotion that you're experiencing, if you remember from the past teaching, is according to your intellect. So is according to your accumulation of past experience. And the way you're reacting, it will then make you, as a result, a different level of enlightenment. No, if you remember, Mr. Keshe, when they say that you will understand in correlation to your own intellect, to your own knowledge. Okay, so that's why very important to share knowledge, to go deeper in the teaching, because will be your intellect that then will make you react in a different way from what happened to you, and you can decide also how to react. Because you will know that will give a different way of enlightenment and will give you a chance to create a different level of times. Okay, so this is very, very important to understand, because this is how we understand the structure of the creation through time. And it's very important for us to learn it. So as I said, the breathing also, it's really good. It can be a tool for us to create a new time. And also is also we go back to the fact that if we then understand all this possibility that we have by controlling the time, then we also learn how to feed. So the soul of the man and the soul of physicality, they have to work together so one can feed the other. And if the one can feed the other, so the soul of the man can feed the physicality, and you can feed the physicality through the soul of the man.
Hello, Stefania. Are you still there? Your microphone's off.
Yeah, sorry, I have to switch it off because I had some noise coming in, and I had to switch it off. Sorry, before you could hear the noise, I switch it off. Yes, so I think this is my summary about the time. There is more to the 595 as we go into the break and then into the second part. There is a question from a knowledge seeker. She's really gives again another tips through her question. We can learn a lot also how the product of the Keshe Foundation will support us on creating new times and learn about the time. how the transmutation session will also teach us, will give us the playground to play with time. So I really recommend you. Also, there are many really good questions on the second part. Mr. Keshe is going to talk also about this. About Macrae, the share, how all the structure of the Keshe Foundation, we're gonna get together to support also the knowledge seekers who they've been supporting the Keshe Foundation for a long time, and also how it will help the Keshe Foundation to be financially strong. He also go into more into the new product, the new mask, the new like a goggle with a headphone. He's gonna tell us more about this new product available in the Cash store, and then he's gonna talk about this new congress. They're gonna be coming up, and this knowledge seeker was really follow Mr. Keshe for such a long time, and he's preparing a really quite interesting seminar, and Mr. Keshe is very interesting. He will be, I think he will be part of it. And then he talks about politics, the hot topics of today, give us also very good insights about it. And then we go more other talk about the time and other more knowledge. So they didn't ask me not to summarize everything this time, but to specifically speak about the time. So I really definitely I think it's a good idea if between us we try really to understand how to make time, how to create time, because it will be really useful for us if we want to travel and step up from this system. Okay, I finished. So I think I said quite enough. I don't know if Mark, do you think I need to say anything more?
No, beautiful job. But this whole understanding is an art. As Mr. Keshe said, traveling to the creator is an art and is an understanding. And I think, again, as we had the electric car at one time, we had talked about having two batteries in the electric car and then having one of our systems charging the one that wasn't being drawn on. And then once that one's depleted, switching over to the second battery, and that would then be charged as the other battery is now in use. But I think, as he said, with that system, we're going to leapfrog over the electric car. We don't have to go that way. So I think with these systems that are being created that you mentioned, these cosmic ray goggles, we're going to leapfrog this process as well, where this system will create a higher energy strength field within the brain that will give the soul access to, again, this higher energy, that the two can interact and create this illusion or this understanding of the creation of time. And we all have the capabilities to do it. But as he said, to become a master at this takes a long time. So I think that's why, and we'll talk about this system coming up. This is probably the most advanced system the Keshe Foundation has ever released in this energy dimension without the matter state being involved. So again, we're going through a leapfrog process, I think.
But he said practice, because this is what the question of this lady after the break. And he said we have to, just through practice, we will be able to get better and better. But the interesting things for me was as well after the break when he talked about on the transmutation session that happened last Friday. He talked about now the knowledge seeker will be learned to go from one soul to another soul. And this lady, she was naturally, after, I think she had the cosmic ray ball delivered a long time ago, and she practiced with us, if understood properly. And she was able to feel what this little girl was feeling, and he said that the transmutation session that we are on was about that, was how the knowledge seeker could feel the soul of another knowledge seeker. I didn't quite understand, maybe Rico, maybe somebody else can explain. I didn't quite understand why we had to do this step, why we had to feel what somebody else was feeling. I just didn't understand the main reason why. Maybe someone can say it, because I know that, yes, for example, I like the fact that he said that we will learn, I think in the July session, or maybe in this session, you will learn to communicate with the plants or with the animal. And the moment you connect with them, you're receiving from them. And this is my experience I having right now. Right now, through practice, I'm start to connect more and more with the plants. And it's clear like the sun for me that I get fed. Like I feel stronger, my vision improve, lighter, I know I gain fed. There is exchange there of where I feeling very, very well once I stop the connection. And same with the animal. I can connect now with my dog who passed away. So I can feel that as you connect, there is exchange of energy, and when you finish the connection, you kind of been fed by it. So I can see how slowly we're gonna end up stop killing, because this is what I'm experiencing at the moment. So last weekend I was in a place was very, very expensive to eat. So I just had one meal. I was fine because I was connecting at a soul level with, I know you laugh now, but with the plants, for example. And I was not hungry. So it was, but I do want to come to the point where I'm not taking. So yeah, so I can see how in the future we can stop eating and stop killing. For now, for me, it's a doable things. I can see that happening.
So this is Mostek. I'll add a little bit about what we can do with when we communicate with other souls. For me, this kind of started when I started treating people. At first, I used GANs, of course, at the beginning, but one of the things that I tried to do, the soul communication, and sometimes it came naturally that the need is my intention is to help this person as well as I can. It's giving. I guess I fell off.
Just for a second.
Yes, yeah, just for a couple of words there.
So the purpose was to connect to another soul, to help, to give. So in terms of, in this case, healing the person who's been afflicted by some health problem. So this was the beginning of it, and as I did it, and I could actually.
You broke off there again, Moshfek.
Yes.
Not sure why this is. Okay, let's see whether I can get. Can you hear me now clearly?
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you now. I think you were saying something at the beginning or.
Yes. So connecting with a person to see what is afflicting the person, and then send the right energy to the person so that the person recovers. In this case, it's not so much the person doesn't have sufficient confidence to gather the energy together by herself or himself. So what, in that case, the function of the person connecting is to add to it, to his or her energy, so that the person receives the complete package for the condition at hand. And I have done it with plants as well, and it works fairly well. But in general, I find it much easier when I don't have an agenda of, I need some energy from this person. And, you know, a long time ago, I've also tested with like fruits, exchanging energy. This is the eating part when I was doing my early tests of some of these things. It works very well there too, but there is a slight difference in communicating with another soul when it comes to the purpose of giving. And, you know, even if you think at the physical level, when we associate with friends, we try to help our friends out in various physically. It's the same thing, but at a physical level. But the interesting thing about the ability to add the soul aspect to it is that, yes, we can help the person physically by, let's say, giving the person gas, but we can also add to it at the soul level. And this is something we were not ready for it earlier when we didn't know how to do this kind of energy transfer. And the one more thing I would add to it is that now that in some cases I was able to do this kind of treatment very rapidly. In some cases it was slow. It happened slower because at that time I didn't have the idea of how to adjust the time factor, you know, the person's healing speed or this kind of thing. The time factor of the recovery was not known to me, but I won't go too far into it because I will cover some of this today in the transmutation section. But just to give an idea of why we connect with other people, whether it's physical level, soul level, or any combination of it. And we can, by adjusting the spectrum of fields we want to connect to, we can do a lot. And the most important thing in these kind of connection is to come with a position that I am here to give the very best I can. And once we have that emotion, that the very best I can to serve the condition and the situation, then we can transfer the correct or the precision of the energy transfer is really uncanny. And this is, I'm talking from my own personal experience, maybe worked very well. But it has to be this strong purpose of giving with the very best I have. And to some extent, if you think about the very best I have, or I can, it's a way to make the connection with the Creator. We will get into this more and more as we understand transmutation. But you can see how we can set the road to the direct energy transfer from the Creator. I hope this makes some sense, and we'll talk more about it, I'm sure, as we go.
Yeah, thank you, Mushfaq, because actually this make a lot of sense. Because for me, I don't know why I didn't thought in your way actually, because to me it was like, okay, this woman, she could feel how this little girl emotion was, but I didn't see the objective to do that. But definitely, I see the fact that when you connect, then you can transfer energy with that soul, and therefore you can support each other. And I remember once, a long time ago, when I did something called Vision Quest in Colombia, where we supposed to feed with our thoughts. So when you were eating, you have to eat, think about this person. When you are drinking, you have to drink, think about that person, no? And this person supposed to stay 4 days with no food, no water, for 4 days. And I remember when the person came back, it didn't have any problem whatsoever on the fact it didn't have any food, any water. But all the time, we as a group, it was like a experiment process. So all the time, we as a group, we have to think about them, drink for them. So I can see that. I can see that if we are practice this, where we can go into each other's soul, then maybe I can see this is like you said, to heal, to help to recover someone, or now we know there are a lot of tragedy happening in the world, a lot of things, injustice. Maybe we, as a collective, if we get good at it, we can feed everyone who is gonna food, or maybe even emotionally, like you said. Yes, so thank you. I never thought the way you just explained it now. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to add anything else regarding time and what they learn on about time. Yes. Otherwise, we can go to the next slide. I'm sure we can talk more on transmutation.
Well, we have 4 different excerpts from the last Knowledge Seekers workshop coming up.
Yeah.
I'm sure Mr. Keshe will touch on time during that because he's hot on that topic for sure. And like you said, or like it was said, that there's a compilation of all the teachings about time being put together, and I think that will be quite a nice production for us all to have. All right, well, perhaps we can go to the next thing, which is an excerpt at 1 hour and 4 minutes of the Knowledge Seekers workshop. And it's about Mark Ray and licensing and other such things. So let's
Thank you, Rika.
Just before we go, I just thought that I have changed in something. Like 2 years ago, 1 year ago, recently, I had problem with dogs. In a way, I didn't want them to get close to me. For maybe when I had one and died, I was affected. So, and it seemed to me not very correct because there are dogs here. And then since maybe 3-4 weeks ago, I have changed. And I always had the attraction from the children who don't talk 1 year, 1 year and a half, 2 years before they start talking. They get interested with me. They listen to me. Looks like they understand me, that I'm serious about who they are. We are friends, and I try to negotiate. So, and it has been here like that, maybe 15, 20 years. And I have to explain to parents, don't worry, happens with every child. They come with me, they leave the parents. So, and now this has become like that recently about dogs, that kind of, I feel, the mind, rather the connection with dogs. And they showed me like somebody who wants to talk and cannot talk, interested. They look at me and they don't bother me anymore when they get close. And I can realize if this is a polite dog, if it's a dog who's intelligent, if it's the dog that knows what he wants. And that's amusing because it opens up another universe to me. And I continue observation to see what else I discover. Because I always try to connect with flowers and pigeons and things like that. I was never successful. So now it seems to be starting with dogs. I don't know where it ends or if it continues, but it's amusing. It's amusing for me. And I did what Estefania did also. Like the other day, I didn't want to go and eat something, and I imagined what we know that I'm connecting to where that food is, and then I didn't have to get up and go and eat. So sometimes when we did that, and it's fun. Thank you.
Okay, I'll play the excerpt now from the 596th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Raise your virtual hand.
There is something before I forgot to tell you. We're getting a lot of inquiries about market cooperation through Keshe Foundation and through knowledge seekers coming to us. Please understand, we emphasize it strongly, especially in the next few days, convert all your shares into certificate that you have confirmation of. Make sure your agents confirm, or you get the confirmation receipts or the certificate for your shares. There's going to be a huge evolution in Keshe Foundation within the next structures, and with it will come the what we call the market cooperation side of our work. Do not fall your rights to hold, to buy. And as we said, we have reserved a large number of shares for knowledge seekers. Those who serve the Keshe Foundation will be well rewarded for your support through our work with Markley. That's for sure. Does not matter you helped us 10 years ago, 2 weeks ago, or 20 years ago. We have kept the list of those who serve the foundation good. And in return, we'll answer you back. And thank you for all your help. Those of you who are trying to buy shares from us, we are not releasing the shares due to the fact that the share values is not realistic what's on the stock market due to other factors. So if you ask us, can we buy shares? You can buy shares from other knowledge seekers if they want to sell. There's been a suggestion from a number of some knowledge seekers that can those who bought shares make it available financially, that we can go through the need we have at the moment, that the foundation after going through this process will give from the shares of the foundation to them. We respect that, as is suggested by many knowledge seekers.
Okay, I went a little beyond the excerpt, and now we have another excerpt at 2 hours and 22 minutes. Okay, I'll play that now. And he also says, I would also like to give my full testimony of my 14 years of following Mr. Keshe, as well as all I have experienced while participating in 12 years of Keshe Zoom workshop groups. Thank you, Rick and Mr. Keshe. I would suggest that he could do that in the public meeting for testimonials, which is always the second Monday of the month, coming up in July. And that's an excellent place. You could put a presentation together, and, if you like, and let that workshop know about all your things you'd like to talk about. So, what would you suggest, Mr. Keshe?
I think that's a good idea, because that's the way people share. All these testimonials one day will be opened up in a different way, and people learn step by step. You're researchers, that's why you release it. People publish scientific paper. Knowledge seekers create testimonials without payment to interfere with the outcome. That's the way we look at the testimonials. Testimonials are research papers. You do the research, you do the validation of, and you put the knowledge out. Who reads it, what do you want to do with it?
Your peer review is your peers are peering at you while you give your presentation, and they'll give you
the worst thing to do
response instantly.
Yeah, the worst thing to do if you want to keep a technology hidden or a knowledge hidden is to go to the scientific papers publication, which now we understand 90% of the publications are all fraud, built to defraud, divert attention or knowledge, and partially to cover the lies of those who sponsor it. It's very strange. The numbers, 80–90% of the published papers are all lies. More and more is coming up. It's just put out to please the people who paid the research for. And the worst thing you can do is to patent the technology, which means I give it to you, do whatever you like with it, but it's the cheat which the Europeans brought in with the patent business to get access to the other people's knowledge. And it's not washing anymore. Not washing out anymore. There's no more people. Any time you want to lose your technology, you patent it, which means I give my knowledge to everybody else, but I want money for it or whatever. We changed this in the new structure of the contracts with Market Corporation. You will see, because it's a public knowledge, it's not something that we hide. It has to be released once the things are completed. With all the governments, with all the institutions, with all the companies we negotiate, we got away with license, with what you call patenting and intellectual rights. We give the technology. If the technology is correct, we take 10% on top of the bill of the sale. If the technology is wrong, you cannot do anything with it. Why should you pay? This means that you will see all the organizations, all the companies which collaborate with Markray. If you develop, let's say, a plate, and it costs you $100,000 to develop it, make it, and you sell it for $10, that's a profitable company. We have brought an international license fee, 10% on top of that. Whenever you pay VAT. And it's the job of the factories to pay, not the public, because you already paid. This way, we have got around all this licensing, certification, research, patenting, and publication. Because if a technology is used and sold, it pays as a point of sale. If it's useless, it doesn't have any income. You will see all the contracts signed and going through Markray Corporation carries this international 10%. Doesn't matter, you use the technology in Africa, you use it in Asia, you pay $10 for a good in Africa, you pay 10% on it. You work in America, you pay $1,000 for it, you still pay 10% for it. The new license fee we put out is attracting a lot of attention from the government. This way, does not matter who takes technology, what it does with it, sources back to the point where it came from. 10% bill is a scientific payment. It's the same as you get royalties in the music. If somebody plays your tune, you pay for it, doesn't matter what they do. Now we set the structure. We change the patent business. Doesn't matter what patent. Technology refers back to what it is. It uses a nanotechnology, which is confirmed to be Keshe Foundation. You are the you're the guy who buys a microphone or telephone which uses that. 10% of that bill goes to the foundation. International intellectual tax. Does not matter. You sell the goods you manufacture in China, you sell in America, and America pays 10% on the bill. And this is written in all our contracts. Goes by. Technology has to be open. Let people use it. Let them develop it. You don't need to patent it. You don't need to hide it. Connects to a knowledge. Recipient of the knowledge takes 10%. It has a value. It's the same as a farmer. Why should we pay a farmer $20 per kilo for a meat which it cost him all his life, and plus all his expenses, $18? He has to live. He has to live correct. This is why you go to a shop to buy the cheapest, but who suffers? The farmer then. Why don't we pay equal, correct amount that the farmer survives, can expand, brings a new life, doesn't need to find shortcuts to create health damage. Now we've done that. You will see with all the Keshe Foundation going through market contracts, 10% sales tax. Does not matter where our product is sold. In China, manufactured, sold in America, produced in America, sold in Vietnam. 10% follows, and the government see the right to it. And this is the only way we can go to the next step. This is what we need, this money which we set to a stagnation, to get these things sorted very rapidly in next few. Because we already passed our deadline, we are still stuck. But all our contracts go that way. Government contracts, you use our technology for defense, you're welcome. You bring it into commercialization. Part of it, 10% or whatever the technology used, is the job of the scientist to track who used the technology for the 10%, and the governments to allocate it the way they do with the musicians. What's the difference between a scientist and a musician? How come people get royalty because of the music played by somebody on the radio or used in a movie? Now that lobby sits on the scientific side, and we brought it in and we are forcing it. And this is the way it should be, should have been, not patent rights. The way we did, we left the technology in your hand. We let you to deliver it and develop it. But you will find out soon, very soon, next few years, anything you developed which uses in source Keshe Foundation technology, you still get your money. Customer pays 10% tax, intellectual tax. There's no need for the guy who made the wipers of the cars, if you know the history of it. He patented it, car companies use it, 20 years lapse, he spent all his life and energy trying to get paid for the patent that every car you drive uses his wiper.
Okay, that's our excerpt for this week. There'll be a second part next week. And let me get back to our workshop here. And it's time for transmutation.
Hello, everybody. Mosfek, representing Bengali language as Universal Council support member. So As we have been talking about the time and transmutation a bit, Stefania went into it quite deep. And so we will touch on some of the things that was mentioned in the last Knowledge Seekers workshop and kind of see how we can relate it to a level where we can conduct our own experiment. So one of the aspects that was talked about in the last Knowledge Seeker workshop is these star clusters. You know, Mr. Keshe said that, you know, our solar system, the sun, is a star that is not, that doesn't exist in isolation. And it belongs to a cluster which circles around another star of a higher magnitude field strength. And this cluster itself has its own time. If we look examine, if we talk about sun, then there is this horizon. Sun has its own horizon as it circles around the center of its cluster. The cluster that the sun belongs to determines the time aspect of this whole system. And there are larger clusters. So the sun that is the center of the cluster in which our sun belongs, itself belongs to another clusters, and in due course you have the center of the galaxy, which these large clusters circle around. So at each level we have a different energy condition, and you can think of the time being different. We are going to higher strength fields, so the time is much faster. So I mean, you know, it's a different scale of time with respect to the time we live in now in the solar system. So now these clusters, as we can do the soul travel to these clusters, and some of us may have tried to travel beyond the solar system and get a sense of the feeling in these kind of energy levels, be it at this level of the cluster or at the edge of our universe heading towards the unicosmos. So you can you can feel the shift in energy. And how is it relevant for us doing practical experiments? So we feel these energy through our emotion. That means the emotion, our soul level emotion, interacts with the field at this level of these clusters. And different clusters have different time factors, different field strength, different energy. Now, these clusters in deep space may sound a bit abstract from our point of view, but we can sense them through our emotions. So let's bring this idea of cluster closer to our physical reality. Now we have circle of friends. With some friends, you know, we are, you know, there are different kind of friends, and you know, we go to parties, you know, it's kind of like a more high-speed activity, and there is another group of friends that they want to sit and do meditation or play cards or something like that. So these clusters of friends, they have different energy levels, And when we are playing, let's say, card games with them, time takes on a different meaning. You have plenty of time to, do your moves and stuff, but with the other cluster of friends who are more into partying, well, you went to a concert, well, there is the speed is quite different. So, and the time factor, we can sense the time factor. There is this urgency and there is a dynamism. It's not that one is better than the other. It's two different experiences of time. So the cluster of stars and the emotion associated with these clusters is the same story. So as we travel to these energy levels through our soul, we become familiar with different time factors, much like our physical experience with friends. And so these emotions at the soul level, as we travel in the outer space, gives us a sensation of the emotion involved. Now, the similar energy level exists within our soul. So instead of traveling in outer space, we can take the emotion of the outer space and travel in the inner space as well. And there we can use these emotions as references for field strength. In the inner space, if you can think of it, take the analogy that Stefania was referring to, onion. So which layer in the onion are we in as we experience that particular emotion? So this is how we adjust different experience of time by using the emotion that we experience. Now, of course, we can do the outer space travel and gain experience. We can do inner space travel and gain experience. Well, in some cases, one is easier for us or better for us than the other. But we are not restricted to going this way or that way. Now that we have the experience of soul, or some idea of it, now we can go either way. We can experience emotion in outer space. We can experience emotion in inner space. And when we are not in the mood of any of these, we go with our friends to the dance party or card game. So, but all these interactions, whether at the physicality level of physicality or the inner dimension of the soul and the outer space experience, we can tie them together all with our emotional experiences. Now, so our responsibility in conducting all these kind of experiences or experiments using our laboratory that we call our soul. And in case of physical experiences, we can even add our soul of physicality. But the important part in all these experiments is to mark the emotion. The emotion that we experience when we are operating in a certain time range. The easiest way to relate to is card game and a party, dance party. These are two different completely. Is one better than the other? No. The two are different experiences, and the card game has its beauty, or the chess game for that matter. Those were even slower. And then we have this dance part. But we can experience great emotion, positive, constructive, creative, and all the things you can think of in any of these situations. But the important part in exploring these spaces is to mark the time and the emotion. This is the time and this is the emotion that we are experiencing. And it requires a bit of focus to do it, but just like playing a good card game or having a good dance party, the experience is incomparable. And it's a very creative experience. And so what does creative experience bring to us? The presence of the creator. So the deeply more higher strength field we experience, the closer we become to the experience of the nearness of the creator. Once again, emotion is at the soul level is what we are operating with. And it's not difficult, but much like any experience at the soul level, whether we are using enhancement unit or not, is to go with an intention very specific. That this is the design of my experiment. This is what I'm going to do. Well, once you're in the experiment, you may see other opportunities and go further and you can extend your experiment. But to do these experiments meaningfully and constructively or creatively, we go with a goal in mind, a design in mind. This is how the experiments given our current experience, this is how our experiments is likely to go. Even if it's not completely successful, we can be very close to it and use that as a reference for the next one. So what I'm saying is it's actually quite enjoyable to do these things, and you can do it as we were talking earlier. You can do it even with other souls, and I have done some experiments with other souls, in a very relaxed way. And it's another kind of experience where you essentially have a joint laboratory activity kind of thing. But I won't go into that, but you can see the amount of possibilities exist in our labs. And one can only imagine what it would be if we add a few more labs to the mix. Speaking about party, that's another kind of party. But in any way, or a card game for that matter. But this is, I'm trying to relate the idea of star clusters to our experience of emotion and time and energy fields. And Mr. Keshe went quite deep into the star cluster type of configuration and talked about the time aspect of it and the energy aspect of it. It is well within our means to conduct experiments in these areas. So I hope that this has been interesting for me, because I've tried some of these things and it's good. I haven't gone this far before, so it is kind of interesting because I had some experience earlier from the transmutation enhancement unit in traveling to far reaches, but now that I know a little bit better to how to get to it, I'm sharing my experience in doing these kind of things. And, it's fun. It's really fun. And you thought card game and, the dance party was where all the fun is. Wait until you get to these parties. Thank you very much.
Hey, Mushfaq, thank you. I want to say something about what you just said. I want to make you a question. So from my understanding, in the last workshop, and also the one before, Mr. Keshe always referring it for the dreams, So the dreams, do you think could be, because he said, he repeated in his workshop that when you're dreaming, you got the two times interacting with each other, the time of the soul and the time of physicality, So do you think that if we start from, because in your imagination, you can imagine whatever you want. So it will be easy for us or for anyone who wants to start practice how to make time to maybe do in the dreams, like start to imagine, creating the dreams. You dream in the night, we dream because we dream, but wondering if we come to a point where we decide to create the dreams, and that will be the starting points where, because he said, if you can do stuff without the physical side, like he make it example when we are detached from Earth and the environment has no any more influence, and then we have the soul of the man and soul of physicality. So there are two. There is the energy side of the physicality, the soul of physicality, and the soul of the man. From these two, we can create time. So would you say that the dream is the easy way to start, or imagine, or visualizing?
Dream is, you can do it both ways in terms of like doing the kind of like when we were children, we used to daydream. I think that ability is very strong in all of us. And you can go into essentially, some of these experiments I'm talking about, I'm just conscious and I'm dreaming. I mean, it's travel, space travel, or you can go inside in your own soul. You can do these kind of travels. The daydream is the most obvious way of thinking out, because we remember our daydreaming days in schools and playgrounds and so forth. But in order to experience the dream at night, you can before going to bed, you can kind of like make a conscious decision that I will remember the dream, and if possible, I'm going to participate in the dream. And you can change dreams, and you can essentially live, your own story in the dream. So I'm not as fond of doing it. I like doing it like conscious daydreaming type of things, because it kind of brings the freshness of when I was young, and that kind of experience. I tend to do it more than the night ones. I have tried the night ones too. Yeah, it's possible to do it. Actually, it's not that difficult to do. Sometimes what I do is that when I'm conscious in the dream that I am dreaming, I go and change it. I wanted to make it go this way. So this I've tried and it works. But generally, I find like daydreaming type of approach to be easier, because you can do it anytime, anywhere. And so you are living in the world of the soul with some awareness of, physicality that you're sitting in, or room you're sitting in. Another reason for doing it this way is that I'm trying to get the soul of physicality, the transmutation part, that is a topic that we have been talking for a while. And some progress is happening, because, I can actually do the interaction. Speaking of like interacting with another soul, interacting with one's own soul of physicality is another such interaction. You are not one soul at the party, but you are two souls interacting with each other. So it's been interesting in that way. So and if you have friends who are willing to do it, you can do it with friends. I have done it on like having in a phone conversation, like WhatsApp. I tested it once in that, and it works. So the dream is, what we refer to things as dream, but in a way it's the soul of man's travel. So if you if we redefine the term dream to be the experience of the soul of man, then you can do it anywhere, anytime, really.
I'm seeing more like a easy way, simple way to bring the soul of the man with soul of physicality together.
Yeah, it's like, think about when you were a kid, and that's it, and you're there. The rest is very easy. And you can set your agenda of your experiments and where you go and what you do and all that. And then it's, I mean, you can, whatever comes to you, it's actually a vast area. So the space is a big place, as they say. I hope I answered you.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Thank you.
Mosfeq is Dean here. May I just say something to what you've been speaking about? So, whilst you were speaking about this, I was looking at a transcript of the 596 Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and the words that are in front of me are, learn this, and if you learn this and you go through this process, you bring the time of physicality connected to the time of the energy. Then you transmute. Otherwise, you're still dreaming. I made man in the image of myself because I am the image in the dimension of the time, in the dimension of energy, not the physicality. So I think many of us, particularly many of the knowledge seekers, are going in and experiencing these time traveling events. Are experiencing many different, they are the captain of the ship and they're going to many different places. And some, I think, as it was spoken earlier, are starting to connect with the other souls that are present and starting to experience maybe the other dimension of the other soul. Whether that is a direct connection with the soul or not, I do not know. But they're experiencing maybe the energy flow of what the other is has been experienced in an energy form. In the last session, I took a little trip and I felt, and I had many visions and many places that I tended to go. Far too many to even remember. But what I did feel was, first of all, it was a physical thing. I was led in a position and I felt particular parts of my body. Then when I started to go deeper in and I started to experience more, the body was no longer apparent. It was not present with me. Then I was in another dimension. And then afterwards, I suddenly realized, I was thinking to myself, going back, I didn't experience it as deep as some maybe the last time. And then I thought, I started to have this fear, this worry, a technical fear. Did I actually go with the right system? Because I suddenly realized I was going through a Wi-Fi connection instead of going through the other connection, which is a direct connection through the phone, where you're through the airways of the communication systems that are present. And so I limited the connection point through the system. However, is that really a worry, or is that just a concern, a technical concern? When that's on the physical side, but on the soul aspect of it, once you start to go into this, is the soul confined to a system that is placed within a physicality system placed on planet Earth? A communication system that is in a loop, that is just in a certain place? Or does the soul come outside of that communication system and experience more? And I think for many of us, this is a transmutation conversation. And Stefania was saying some very incredible things about what they've experienced and what they've come to know. So many of the knowledge seekers are starting to put some of the picture together and starting to connect the dots and starting to use the knowledge to feel not in a physical form, but to feel it on a soul level, starting to connect with other souls and other dimensions, other time, other places, other emotions. We can, if you think about it, how easy it is for us to, in the physical form, you smell something and it takes you to a position instantly. That smell of something is like you're there. A piece of music, you listen to a piece of music, all of a sudden you're in that time, place, and position. Bang, you're there in exactly that emotion. And we have to come to understand these emotions that we feel, that we've experienced, are in the physical form. When we start to let go more and we start to interact on a soul level, the soul is going to guide us and teach us more. It's going to interact in a different way. It's going to open up the playing field. It's not going to be a localized position within a structure of a communication system. It's going to open it up to the much bigger totality. And the soul of physicality that we've been experiencing as human beings, we've been experiencing as souls, is deeply connected to, the physical form of a planet. When we start to travel and let go, like some of the knowledge seekers are starting to do here through their experiences, we're going to travel further. We're going to experience more because we open up another dimension. And when we start to do that in the physical form where we sit now, we stand, or whatever you're doing, once you start to open this up, imagine the other dimensions then opening up before you. You're going to start to find that other creatures, other souls, other dimensions are going to suddenly become apparent. You will become transparent in your wisdom and in your beauty, and then you may reappear in another time, place, and position that is on a soul connection, in a position that the soul has deemed for you to be at that moment. And it's up to us to whether we want to play the game where we want to make it so that it's a preset thing. We use the brain and we think, I want to be here, I want to be this time, place, and position, and this possession I need. And so we travel to that point to see something, to experience something. But then if we pull back from that and open up the sphere of the intellect, the intelligence, and we let the intelligence of the soul guide us, then I think the journey will be a totally different one. And as I said earlier on, I tried not to have this fear of this communication loop, trying to let go of that explanation of why I didn't travel quite as far. But having said that, did I travel much, much further? Because the moment you think something the one way, it's usually the other. And that is the one thing I've learned about plasma is if you think something is very, very beautiful, sometimes it can be opposite. And if you think sometimes you think something is very, very bad for you, it can be opposite. It can actually take you to another place. And there's a reason why you experienced this. The soul, and as Mr. Keshe said many times, nothing is by coincidence, absolutely nothing. Everything that materializes before you, someone walks past you, a bus or something, you see something, a color, a place, a position, a time, you were supposed to experience this in that moment to guide you and to give you what you need on your journey, on your path, whatever you want to call it. So this transmutation in time can be preset, preconditioned, felt and experienced, going back to what you've experienced before, and maybe you want some more elevation in that area. Or as Mr. Keshe said, maybe you want to travel around the universes and experience the full beauty of many, many different places, time, place, and position, emotions, possessions, and everything that you need. Or maybe for you, there may be that direct connection straight back to the source of the creator. And when we understand that, then there is no theological understanding that can stop that transmutation of that condition. Thank you for listening. Thank you all.
Thank you, my dear Dean. Beautiful, you said. Thank you, my dear Moshmi. Thank you, Stefania. And I will also say that when we are kids, you know, we used to see the Star Trek series and Captain D. Kirk in the final frontier. So now space is really the final frontier within you or outside. So initiation is according to what we understand. The emotion is I am present, that I am. Hey, with the emotion of um, Mitra, with the emotion as according to the ethos of Mitra, and think good, act good, think good, act good, and talk good. I will say that when, and according to you, these laws will work according to you, according to your understanding, and then this initiation works. In the future, you are going in space. Inside, if you're going in the past, landing in some memory you have, you don't want to land again, come back and go in the space you want to land. You want to go, you want to initiate. So this space frontier is now open as we in present we are doing it, and so peace from inside our create this peace in planet Earth, and then we have this because we have this responsibility, going understanding the peace and going in peaceful way to all galaxies, stars, to travel. It is more easy to travel, to understand in this peaceful um, way. So peace inside us, peace on earth, peace, peacefully we can travel. Then, so the first responsibility is to peacefulness in our heart and soul, and then on planet Earth, and then the launch to space travel in the final frontier. Understanding in the emotion of the ethos of Mitra. Think good, act good, do good, speak good. Say. So, final frontier, my dear beautiful soul. Thank you so much.
Okay, I think we have another excerpt from the last Knowledge Seekers workshop. So let me see if I can find it here. Just a minute. And it is about dreaming. And we'll play that now.
The first one is how do I know if I'm in this 0 point field where there is no me, no consciousness me, there's only soul in this 0 point field. How can I direct the things I want to do in the energy fields if there's no consciousness me? It's only the soul.
You got to remember, consciousness, the way you talk about it, is not exclusivity of physicality. Consciousness is a totality of understanding the process of creation and the energy field. The way we have emotion parallel in the physical and the dimension of energy, consciousness is the same. Your soul is more conscious in dimension and strength than your own consciousness in physicality. When you reach the point of what you call zero, what we call point of transmutation or awareness of, you will see, you will feel the energy of your physicality to be cocoon like a baby inside the womb of the mother. You feel it. You see it. If you become detached from it, you see it physically below you, usually. If you embrace it, become conscious of its existence, you feel it within you. It's like the mother feels the child inside. Because the soul expands, the energy field expands beyond the energy fields of the what I call physicality. I explained this once, and maybe this gives you better understanding. It feels like you have an object outside of a gel, and then the gel expands and the object becomes inside it. You have the same condition. The soul of, or the dimension of soul of physicality, get embedded, embraced by the soul of the man, by the fields of it. You cannot take it over, but you connect to it. This is how it's done. It's not the way you see that you jump into the water and you're inside it, but you're separate. In the dimension of energy, the dimension of the fields which you have or had in strength the same as the soul brings you in a way you submerge, you become part of. Very simple. If I can explain it, get two different kind of jellies and take one as injected inside the other and see how you expand. This is what your soul of physicality will be in the soul of the man. And then those connection lines, because it's the same, you just see the colors. You just see the connections. You see the emotions. And this is what happens, because when you expand, it's not just taking over the physicality, it's connecting all the lines which is common now inside. And so it's not too different. It's the same, but understanding the emergence of the two. You're always conscious of it. You always see it. You're aware of it. This is why when it comes a time, you can put it outside and you manifest yourself.
I have felt that somehow. One time I felt and I saw and I felt it and I saw it that I was in the womb and that I was because my physical consciousness suddenly questioned, why am I feeling upside down? And I was in the womb and I felt this veil around me, like really being in that womb. And that was a really, really special feeling. But I didn't know what to do with it, so I let it go. But now I understand I had to be one with it, to connect to it. Is that what I
It's the way,
understand?
yes. Yes, in the way you always look at the... This happens to many people. And this used to happen to me when I was very young, when I started understanding this. Then I found and I comprehended the way it is. The soul is always a stronger. So we see the top side, as I call it, standing up. And the soul of physicality always looks upside down. I don't know why. But even when you separate from the body, you see the physicality, for example, on the bed. You see it in a very different way, upside down. And this is correct because it's yin and yang. If you decide the soul of physicality to be inside the soul of the man, then as energy field, then what has to be the top? We usually choose the top as a soul because it always stands up, and the soul of physicality, it feels like what you call, as you say, upside down. This is very normal, which means you have actually gone through the process because you can explain the feeling.
Yeah.
You understand? And this is very much in the same process as giving birth, where the mother is, you know, the head is up and the child is upside down, opposite to the mother. And this is very, it took me a long time to understand this, the reason for it, why everything is reverse of. And then when you go to the dimension of the energy fields, everything is one dimension or one direction. So you've been very close to what you call embracing the soul of physicality. Very close. You most probably have achieved it.
Yeah.
This is the biggest problem, the fear. The fear of not understanding of allows people to let go.
Yeah, it's I don't have a fear. Indeed it's more like not knowing what to feel, not knowing what to do. So I just feel everything that comes to me. I don't focus on a specific point, but before I start with the session, I always set my intention. And I connect to the fields and I send love to all the fields and then ask the fields to connect to me and show me the way, and that I will follow the way. And that brings me very quickly into that field where I don't feel my body anymore. And when there's visuals starting and feelings starting, but I was suddenly also, it brought me into the consciousness of a girl here in the village that was on her bike, riding behind her parents. And I
Okay, if you would like to hear more about that, that's in our last Knowledge Seekers workshop from June 26th, and that's at about 1 hour and 20 minutes in. All right, I think we can move to, let me see, it's another excerpt from our Knowledge Seekers workshop about the new product, the Cosmic Ray Plasma Energy Transmutation. Let me see, 129. Let's get that set up. Okay, this will be about a 3-minute excerpt. And I'll start that now.
The new headsets are amazing things once they are released. They connect every part of the dimension field force of the man. There is another addition I told you will come later on, to a system which literally is your captain for all the souls on humanity and the rest of the universe. It's an amazing structure once it's finished. So you can expand your soul directly beyond your physicality. And then you feel that warmth, you feel that energy. You feel you don't need to see your body is not there, because now you're part of inside looking at your own field energy, which does not, in a way, there is no soul of physicality to interact with, or energies of the soul of physicality to interact with the soul of the planet, which creates manifestation of. Now you're dealing with the two energy souls inside, which does not create, in a way, physicality, but awareness of the physicality, but connection of the emotions. And that connection of emotion
connects you with consciousness, connects you with what you call the fields of the physicality, which now the place of it is in the soul of the man, is in the energy level, not the physical dimension. And it's very interesting. When you see yourself, for example, upside down as a physical part, see if within it you can see a light. That's the light of the soul of physicality. And that's when the transmutation can be happening. It's something I know fully aware. I've done this since, God knows, before teenage time.
Well, thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Mr. Keshe. I hope it also will help other people listening to this. And I'm
Okay, that's that excerpt from the Knowledge Seekers Workshop, again at about 1 hour and 30 minutes in. And perhaps we can have a look at the headset. Just give me a minute here to get that set up. Okay. This is at the Keshe Foundation store at store.keshefoundation.org. And it's the Cosmic Ray Plasma Energy Transmutation Unit. I'll just read the excerpt from it here. Cosmic Ray Plasma Energy Transmutation. This unit is set to revolutionize space transmutation technology. The combined forces of energy and positioning of fields in the center of the human brain will become the feeder and communicator of the human in space. The Universal Cosmic Ray Plasma Energy Transmutation Unit is the first step in the development of receiving and feeding back energy from the central energy fields of the human body. We have developed this unit to be able to transfer matter energy to plasma energy and vice versa to one's body without the need for communication or feeding systems and materials. This is the first of many units which will be released as a series of new developments in creating new energy structure for wellness, transfer of emotion, and feeding the humans in space. And it's 7,999 euros plus shipping and taxes. And I'll note that this includes two, as noted here, 2 units rather than one which is shown. But if you push on the button on the bottom, you can select 1 unit as well for 5,000 euros, or 4,999 rather. Does anybody else want to say anything about that?
Of course, this is a two-piece system. Thanks, Rick. There'll be a breathing dimension of this, or a bra or something you would wrap around your chest, which will control or help to match the breathing with the place you want to go. I don't fully understand it, but you know, many people say, well, why doesn't Mr. Keshe teach this? Why is he making devices that will help the whole process? But as we understand, it's already all been taught, Mr. Keshe. He doesn't understand why the knowledge seekers are not already transmuting. And I'm thinking these systems, and maybe it is due to a lack of practice, or perhaps a lack of understanding, or perhaps not comprehending fully. Perhaps it's not trusting. The fear factor comes in. So this is the universal body enhancement spaceship unit, reduced to a very small two-piece or twinity. And this is what he said about many of the things that you see in the Keshe Foundation store, that it's hard to explain what they do, but once you experience it, you'll understand. So I think this is what's happening here. I know we're a little bit weak about superpassing the physicality and the rest. So I call these system assist, where it will actually allow you to experience it, and then it'll become ingrained, or you'll understand more about it. And of course, this system is being developed, and this is how we keep the Keshe Foundation free for humanity. As he said, don't put it on when you receive it if you're all excited about getting it, because they have to build a reactor that fits you into this system. So don't share it with anyone, and don't put it on until you're instructed to do so. And as I said, there's a second part of this Twinity system, which will come down the road a little bit. But again, this will help us to do more than just the transmutation. As he said, you can wear this system and be able to absorb energies from plants and animals that will feed you without you having to destroy them. This is what he said about the lamb maybe a year or two ago. If you become more humble than the lamb, then you can absorb the energies of the lamb without having to kill it. And this, as you interact with plants or animals, you'll be able to feed yourself with this system. Not only that, he's mentioned something about the organs within our own bodies, that this system will, let's say you're having a malfunctioning kidney or liver, it's only operating at 60%, or the lungs, you've lost some lung capacity. This will help to bring those back into the position or its original position, as I understand it, without surgery, without operations, just through the interaction of energies. And then, of course, he also said if you're missing an organ, this sort of system will be able to, as we understand the fields are already there, there's some interactions going on, we can actually grow missing parts, perhaps certain things were taken out, they were damaged or they were diseased, and now it can be regrown in so many ways, as I understand it. So one of the beautiful things I see in this is not only the transmutation and understanding it by experiencing it, and then it becomes ingrained within you, but this whole world of organ trafficking, organ harvesting, all this black market will then start to, this is the beginning of the end of that whole harvesting of organs from others, and sometimes prematurely, just for the funding of that the hospital may receive, or again, these other markets operate in. So this is a very beautiful system, and it will help us to achieve it by experiencing it, and it will embed in you what you didn't realize you didn't understand, I think. Or perhaps reduce the fear, increase our trust within ourselves that this can be done. But this is another one of these, what we call Twinity systems. There is a two-piece, one for the chest and the breathing, where you can probably stop the breathing. As he said, this nitrogen, which is 65% of the air we breathe, keeps us connected to this planet. And he just talked about being able to break from the soul of this planet as well using this system. So it's quite phenomenal, but probably you'd have to experience it to greatly understand more. And this is all part of many systems that'll be developed. Quite powerful, never been seen before, and I'm sure many passengers of the universe that are traveling in the matter state would also like to experience this, and perhaps they will in the future coming time. But this is, again, an initial step. If they improve these devices, you can send them back, and you'll be given a new one. Or if they may move on to a different system, it may become smaller and smaller and smaller, even to the point of embedding it under or within the structure of our physical body, perhaps in an earlobe or behind the ear, which has been mentioned before. So this is all part of this development and allowing us to, again, understand and comprehend what we've missed perhaps in the teachings. It's all been taught, but I haven't heard of any knowledge seekers fully achieving this whole understanding. And yes, Rick, as you said, the original, the 79.99 is for 2 of these head units. One is 49.99 plus the value added tax. And I don't think there's any licensing fee built into this, but that is another beautiful novel idea of this 10% licensing fee that Mr. Keshe has mentioned. That will be part of the work of the Mark Ray Corporation with any of the companies, that 10% can then be fed back into the research and development to take it further, and that the scientists and the others can live a comfortable life, let's say.
The way I understand it, that 10% would be built in for the company that produces these units would pay that, and of course it would be built into the price as well. But and eventually the customer pays the fee in a way, but the company actually pays the 10%. The company that markets or sells the units, depending on what country they sell them in. But it always will be 10%. Interesting idea. All righty.
So again, this is the way we keep the Keshe Foundation free for humanity to continue the research and develop it, that it's not co-opted by any international groups or other things, as we've heard the stories with the Belgians and the others where it was either the technology or your life. And Mr. Keshe left Belgium after a number of years because the technology was, again, the same thing that happens in these patents and the rest, where they steal it and then, again, leak it out slowly over a much larger time. So, again, this is a leapfrog technology. It's all been taught. We haven't fully understood it, but this will help us to comprehend and understand and trust and be able to do more than we're doing at this point in time. And maybe it is a lack of practice, but I don't think Mr. Keshe wants to wait another century or two for this process to start happening. So he's actually built systems to, or what I call system assist, that once it's become ingrained within you, or once you experience it, you may start to realize, oh, this is what I missed. This emotion I've never experienced. I can recreate that. And again, everyone may develop at different speeds and different strengths into this process, but we all have that capability. And this is what these systems are actually bringing out of us in a way, or embedding within us. This trust, this understanding, the lack of fear, and all the beautiful things that will allow us to match the 2 times together and open up this, again, as he said, we're opening up the mystery of the matter state of our entities to its energies. And these devices will help fully do that. Of course, as he said, there's a number of perfections that still have to be done. It's not fully completed. And we're helping in a way those who can afford to do this. But as he said, for what it brings, the price is actually, or what it can do, or what it is actually peanuts compared to, the price is peanuts compared to what these devices in combination can do. I mean, just a growing of an organ or a liver, I don't know what they charge, but it must be in the thousands, plus all the tablets that one has to continue to take, the anti-reduction and everything like that. But this will make the connection. So as he said, this is built by the man, for the man, and for the body of the man will then accept and actually bring that liver or kidney or whatever it is, if it was missing, in all its connections without any sort of tablets. So you'll have a custom-made organ for yourself without all the operations and the rest that goes along with it, and the anti-rejection tablets that, and there are many of them. I've known a couple of people who've gone through this replacement of kidneys, and it's not so easy. And sometimes down the road, after a year or two, that kidney is rejected. Again, this will circumvent that whole issue in the medical world, and especially the organ trafficking business, whether it's for eyes or lungs or kidneys or hearts. So we thank the Keshe Foundation, and let's all keep the Keshe Foundation free for humanity.
Speaking of which, I think it's a good time to play the video, Keep the Keshe Foundation Free for Humanity, become a trial volunteer. And
agree.
Let me get that organized here. Okay, here we go.
Keep Keshe Foundation free for humanity. Become a trial volunteer. And Mr. Keshe is making every effort to keep Keshe Foundation free and independent, and out of control of the multinational corporations. Therefore, we need more knowledge seekers with certain health conditions to come forward and be part of the trials and test. It's different than volunteering for big corporations with huge budgets. For one thing, they pay you to put experimental drugs inside your body because you are taking a risk. With plasma science, it is totally opposite. You are working with plasma fields that cannot damage you, and usually your condition changes or goes away. But you have to pay for it because it's an act of love to help bring the change to humanity. Please, if you can consider volunteering for these trials, not only do you benefit, but you bring benefit to others.
This is the tooth of a child, and you can see it literally to the flesh. And this is very few weeks later. Where the tooth is literally recovering and growing. And when you see the changes are so fundamental. And this is what our doctors and dentists are achieving. This is a life of misery, pain, tooth extraction. And this is today, a few weeks later. And you walk away for all the problems. How far this will go? Will it become a complete tooth in the next 6 months, 12 months? And would we see the changes? Because if you're a dentist, and if you're an ordinary man, you can understand the difference between the two. No chemicals, no medicine, nothing was used. The target of our dentists and doctors is to grow tooth where it has gone. It's been pulled out if it's possible. It's been the dream of the dentists. And using the new technology by them, I'm sure they will try. As you can see, the difference between the two is very clear. We see new bones, new structures, new covers appear. It's the same for us with the what we call the world of salinity. Can we create the condition? Would you like to change the screen, please, Greg? Can we come to the point that with application of the remote, we can deliver directly, for example, to build a piece of wall of a heart of a baby the way we did with a tooth from thousands of kilometers away without open heart surgery? Can we rebuild part of a kidney which has been damaged in your dialysis machine? Can our doctors, with a new technology, remove kidney stone without any intervention? Do they need to change the salinity within a kidney for the stone to melt within a few sessions? And now you understand why we tell you, volunteer. Do you want me to go to multinationals and tie your hand with research? Or do you want to do it yourself and help the others and our doctors to understand? We are not in medical practices. We are in elevation of the soul, how the soul decides to change the what we call dimension within dimension of physicality. And secondly, all these trials is done by the doctors. We are providers of the knowledge. So, if you want to see if it works, if it can bring a new understanding for us, volunteer. And opposite to the other researchers or doctors and institutions where they go out and look for billions to pay scientists to find out, Keshe Foundation asks you to pay for, as volunteer, for us to learn, for scientists to bring the new dimension.
Well, that brings us to the needs and wishes part of our workshop.
Thank you, my dear Rick.
Go ahead, Shweta.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. The soul decides which dimension in physicality. How do we transform? What is the way the soul decides? Indeed. Thank you. And I welcome you, Dean. Yes.
Okay, Shweta, thank you. Okay, so we, the Universal Council, elevate the souls, our brothers and sisters of India and Pakistan, for peace and enlightenment now. And we are present.
We, the Universal Council, give to our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet. We are present. We, the Universal Council, give freely from our soul to elevate the soul of the leaders to achieve peace in the Middle East now. Our wish is our command. We are present.
Okay, thank you, Sweta. And we have a couple of things in our YouTube that we should address.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. Welcome,
Questions
welcome.
and so on. Again, begin with Stephen, who says, will eternity as a star be accompanied by a twin? The father and mother makes star life with company?
Yes, as you, it's your ability to understand. Yes, there is always a soul family. A family here, a family, soul family. Yes, of course. You are always being guided, loved with your family, my dear. As we are here, of course, there will be always a guide, a friend, a lover with you. Stephen, my dear, thank you for us.
And as Moshvek mentioned, and it is the current science that the stars, such as our sun, hang out in what they call clusters. So there'll be a cluster of stars, such as our sun, in one area of our Milky Way galaxy, and another cluster in another area of the galaxy. And the stars in that cluster are in communication with each other. And the cluster is in communication with other clusters in the galaxy. And then the galaxy itself is in touch with other galaxies, which also exist in clusters. So there's lots of families out there.
Yes, and you will be never alone. Yes, of course.
Okay, Adam had a question about one of our wishes. Let's go back here and let me see if I can find it. This one says, and the wishes, we, the Universal Council and supports, give from our souls to war leaders, investors, and politics. So is it, he's thinking, do you mean world leaders or is it war leaders?
No, it is war leaders because, yes, Rick, my dear, yes, thank you. You want to say, Rick? Hello? Rick?
I was going to say the answer is yes to both, because you could take it either way, and the answer is still to give from your soul to whether it's the war leaders or the world leaders, because in a way they might be similar. Go ahead. Sorry, what was the?
No, I was also saying that yes, that is the war leader as a being, in this peaceful way we just proceed. We say also, a war leader, a politician, a leader, a corrupt man, a genocidal man, a person, a group. Every being is equal in the universal unified field. So we say these are the names of this way the drama is going on. But then we elevate all souls equally in a way. So yes, of course, these are names for those who are doing this mayhem. But then we want them to be enlightened, to be elevated in a way, so that they can understand where is the need of them, or is there any more? So yes, thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Okay, and in regards to our, is it 19th commandment here, thou shalt not accept no path except the path of his own soul to his creator. Tender takes exception. It seems at that time, this truth was actual. The world was merely considered masculine. So why not make it yin and yang and accept simply the path of your soul to your creator? Well, she would have to take that argument up with Mr. Keshe, because these are the words of Mr. Keshe, and he often uses his in relation to creator.
Yes, and it is also, dear Tender, that as you were thinking in your way, it is also very like this commandment. As you are thinking, as your soul is thinking, as your soul is in the with the Creator, and your Creator. So this is always you. This is always me. This is always us. So that is the well, I will say the purest way to proceed with the path of peace or the wisdom or the kindness. So yes, thank you, my dear.
So what about this idea of using this the he and his pronouns for the soul and creator? Are they masculine, or is it just a convention we have in English to use certain words?
I will say that you have to, yes, Tender have to understand the emotion, the level of emotion here. This is not about masculine and feminine. This is about if we put it in like she of her own soul, her, then a a person, a man can say, what about that her? What about the he's? So you can put it in your own way, like that, the sound of the universe. These are dualities when we think, what about her? What about him? Like that. If we put it like that, neutral way of thinking. Let's be the he as a neutral and she as a neutral together. So here we are in the one way, oneness. So you have to take it in your own way. Like I have said that it is you who understand the intention, the word, the not the duality. So if we say it in oneness, then you can understand. Because both of us, these characters are within us, both a she and a he. So that becomes so unique in this living being. So thank you, Tendo, my dear.
And of course, he's also used the word your to try to find your creator or connect with your soul. And when this was being voiced by Joseph, I was thinking, there are a lot of paths laid down for us by these intermediaries, whether it's the Pope or the rabbis or the Buddhas or the Ayatollahs. I often wondered when I was practicing the Christian religion if I could be wrong and the others might have the correct path. But now we're understanding we don't need any intermediaries here or in the universe. You decide how this knowledge befits you. You decide what you missed and how it pleases you to interpret this knowledge. And this is why I think he's saying you find the path to your own soul, to your own creator in the way that befits you. And this is what we hear in the video, the beauty of the disclaimer. Thank you.
Yes, my dear. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, we've got a A final question here with Andrew. Says, hello, Rick. I still cannot get the shares and certificates in the UK. Anyone got any help? Well, as Mr. Keshe mentioned in our excerpt today, the shares and certificates you can exchange with other knowledge seekers, but basically they're not available to people in the public at this point. I think that that may change if Mr. Keshe gets his way with his financing and so on. That might put some things straight to be able to make those more readily available. But it's the same situation in Canada as well. It's just not available to purchase at this point.
Well, if you have friends or family or relatives within the United States or other areas where they are available, you can pursue it that way as well.
Are they available in the U.S.?
I believe so. I noticed
able to,
there are shares being bought and sold on a pretty regular basis in the Charles Schwab website.
Yeah, I wonder if they're from America or not, though. But anyway, yeah, they're definitely not in Canada and UK. It's restricted trading. So
where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, and that could all change quickly as well. All right.
Rick, just very quickly, if I can jump in. Mark would maybe know about this. Is it not right that there's been a bill that's just been passed that's something to do with the medical side of, what's going to be happening in the United States? Is this correct, Mark?
I'm not following the politics as closely as I used to, Dean, so I'm not sure. But you mean with the Medicaid or other things like that?
There's a big bill that's just gone through their system that has been given the go-ahead. So I don't know what the implications are.
Oh, the big beautiful bill.
This is the one. Yes.
Yeah, no, I haven't looked at it. But we do know Mr. Keshe, as he mentioned, will be presenting at a medical conference coming up in Vienna. I don't know if they're organizing it or he's just one of the presenters there. But there will be something coming up that he had mentioned in Vienna, a medical conference.
I think he's one of the presenters, but I believe they've given him a 3-hour session interval, so that's pretty significant.
Is this coming up in the next week or is it in the next?
I don't know. Sure. I don't have the information on that offhand. Let's see if it's in X.
No, I don't think it's in X, or I haven't seen it. Maybe it's been posted now. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
And again, this may be a private affair. It may not be opened up to the public. I know Mr. Keshe said you could attend, but he wasn't sure if it was going to be open to a public or this is something internal for medical groupings.
We do know, Mark, that we were speaking about the medical, not the medical, but the actual transmutation headset that's just about to be released, and 2 copies of it, or 2 units. And it would be fascinating that this technology would be brought forward, and these bills and all these the infrastructure of this condition of the physical body could be brought into balance very, very quickly. And when the governments and the multinationals accept this, then it could be prosperity and beauty for everyone. And then we really will have some peace within the physical form, which will then release the soul to be at peace once more. And maybe some of the people that benefit from this would be the very ones that profit from it. Be interesting.
Okay, thank you, Dean.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, any other final needs, wishes, or comments?
Now we can go to the next slide if there's No question. No, thank you, my dear. We are here to serve, not to be served, my dear beautiful souls. Beautiful, beautiful souls. And I welcome you all again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Swagatam into the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy, beautiful beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization. Beautiful energy of the universal soul we are. Beautiful energy of beauty and totality of all souls, loving souls in existence. So I welcome you again to join, jump, hug, love Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute and organization. Your beautiful souls. Thank you so, so much. The Universal Council. Salam, namaste. Sadi.
Okay. Thank you, Sweta. Just bear with me a minute here while I get my video back together. Okay, there's the background I'm looking for. Yes, thank you, Sweta, and thank you to all the members and support members of the Universal Council for producing today's 385th version of the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. And our next public teaching is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group. That will be tomorrow, July 2nd, starting at 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time. And it's open to members of the public to discuss and have a look at various implementations of the plasma technology, sort of on the practical side. And sometimes we get into topics that are on the fringe of plasma, you could say. And also a reminder that, let me look at my calendar, we have the public meeting for testimonials coming up. Oh, I'm sorry, that won't be until the 14th, second Monday of the month. I thought it might be the 7th, but that doesn't work out. So that'll be another week and a bit before the public meeting for testimonials, and we'll announce that in following workshops, but keep that in mind. Okay, and of course we have the Knowledge Seekers workshop coming up Thursday, July 3rd at the usual 9 a.m. Meeting time. Okay, I think that's about it for today. Oh, maybe
then
one
we
thing.
have some dance. Dance in the stars. Party, as Mark said. Dance, dance, and clap, clap. Beautiful souls. Enjoy. Blessings.
Thank you, Sweta, for that introduction to the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version. And with that note, we'll be out of here. And thank you, everyone, for attending. Thank you, Mark, for being here for the co-hosting. And also Jedi Simon for our background image for today, once again. And thank the universe for us all being here. Bye for now, everyone.